Previously, on the unexpected journey. Daniel Sheppard returned to his childhood home, and time stopped with him. 8:17 froze on the clock. The world split, and two voices, two wills, reached for him. One warned, one demanded. Both wanted him. Eric saw the figures for the first time. Amanda felt the fracture opening sooner than she feared. And Ron stepped out of the shadows, no longer hiding his purpose. Daniel was told to choose, but he didn't understand the choice, and the world snapped back before he could ask. Now the pull is growing, the warnings are repeating, and the fracture is coming for him, whether he's ready or not. Daniel woke up late this morning, later than he ever did. The light through the curtains was soft, ordinary. Nothing flickered, nothing hummed, nothing split. For a moment, he wondered if everything had been a dream. Then he sat up, and the heaviness in his chest told him it wasn't. Eric sat on the sofa, arms crossed, eyes tired. "You're awake?" "Yeah." Daniel rubbed his face. His hands trembled. He didn't want Eric to see. "You were talking in your sleep. A lot." Daniel swallowed. "I did?" He didn't remember, and that frightened him more than the dreams themselves. Inside his head, a whisper. "Please, just give me one normal day. One." They walked toward the cafe. Daniel tried to match Eric's pace, tried to look normal, tried to breathe normally. But the world felt thin, as if something pressed against the edges of reality, waiting. Daniel shook his head, trying to clear the sensation. They needed breakfast, something ordinary, something grounding.
"Surely things will feel better with some food in your system. Joanne's down the street has the best egg and bacon toasties in the entire city. No demon of any kind stands a chance against those."
Daniel managed a weak smile. Eric's optimism was clumsy, but sincere. They sat down with 2 large cups of black coffee and the toasties. The warmth, the smell, the normality. It almost worked. Then Daniel's phone buzzed. Daniel froze.
"What is it?" "Mark."
Just Mark. Just his manager. Just a normal message from a normal life. Daniel exhaled shakily. "I can't lose this," he thought to himself.
"I should go talk to him. I had that customer meeting I never showed up to. He must be furious." That actually sounds like a good idea.
Eric felt a flicker of relief. Daniel focusing on work again felt like a return to something solid, something real. But the relief didn't last. Eric couldn't quite convince himself that the last few days had been illusions. He knew what he had seen. And even though he believed people could be delusional, he trusted his own perception too much to dismiss it. Mark's office was exactly as Daniel remembered it, cluttered, stressed, human. A place untouched by symbols or fractures, a place that belonged to the world Daniel used to live in just days or weeks ago. He didn't have a clear grasp of how much time actually had passed since his bike ride to work that morning. Mark looked up from his desk, eyes widening slightly.
"Daniel, you look like hell, to be honest."
Daniel forced a smile that didn't reach his eyes.
"I know. I'm sorry about the meeting. It's..."
"Stop. Just stop."
Mark wasn't angry anymore. He had a worried face, and that worried Daniel even more.
"Sit down."
Daniel did.
"Look, I don't know what's going on with you, but this isn't like you. Missing meetings, disappearing, not answering your phone. That's not the Daniel I know.
Daniel stared at the floor.
I believe you. That's why I'm saying this. Take a few days, sort yourself out. Come back when you're you, all right?
Daniel nodded. But inside, something twisted. Because in his head, he was wandering. What if he never get to come back? What if this is the last time he sit in this chair? The last time he see this room? The last time he is himself? Mark leaned forward, lowering his voice.
Daniel, if something's wrong, really wrong, you can tell me. You don't have to handle it alone.
Daniel's throat tightened. He wanted to tell him. He wanted to say everything. But how do you explain something you don't understand yourself? I just need some rest. That's all.
Then take it. And Daniel,
Daniel looked up.
don't disappear again. You scared the hell out of me.
Daniel nodded, but the word echoed inside him, like a warning he couldn't obey. Amanda sat at the kitchen table, hands clasped so tightly her knuckles were white. The house was quiet. Too quiet. She felt it. The pressure. The thinning of the air. The way time seemed to lean toward a single point. Her time. Daniel's time. She thought, it's close. Closer than ever. I can feel it in my bones. I thought I had more time. I thought I could prepare him. James hummed in the next room, sorting match programs, blissfully unaware of Amanda's troubles.
I shall go down to the pub and have a word with the lads.
Amanda closed her eyes.
He has no idea. None of them do. And I can't tell them. I can't tell anyone. I just need to keep him here a little longer. Just a little longer.
Her breath shook. In her mind, she said to herself, I'm not ready. I thought I was. I've had years to prepare. But I'm not ready to lose him. I'm not ready to end. She opened her eyes, wiped them quickly. She didn't know when it would happen, only that it would. Soon. It's late afternoon. Daniel and Eric sat on a bench in the park, takeaway coffees in hand. The sky was overcast, the air cool.
You think it's over?
Daniel stared at the ground.
I don't know. It feels quiet. Quiet is good.
Daniel shook his head, deep in thought.
Maybe.
Eric didn't know what to say. He wanted to help. He just didn't know how. Inside Daniel's chest, a faint vibration, a pull. And he thought, it's coming back. I can feel it. Like a tide I can't stop. He rubbed his sternum.
You okay? Yeah, just tired.
Amanda stood at the window, watching the street. Her reflection looked older than she remembered, more fragile. Her phone buzzed. A message from Emma. Dinner tomorrow? Everyone's free. Would be lovely to have Daniel, too. Emma was Daniel's younger sister, bright, warm, and always trying a little too hard to make things look effortless. She had climbed into a world far more polished than the one she grew up in, a world she still wasn't entirely sure she belonged to. And somewhere along the way, she and Daniel had drifted apart. Not out of conflict, but out of distance. The kind that forms when two lives move in opposite directions. She cared for him deeply, even if she no longer knew how to reach him. Amanda stared at the message. A family dinner. One last moment of normality. One last night before everything ends. She typed back with trembling fingers. Yes, darling. That's a splendid idea. I'll make sure he comes. She set the phone down, pressed a hand to her chest. In her mind, I can't stop it. I can't save him. I can't save myself. But I can give him one more night, one more memory, one more moment where he's just... She couldn't finish the line.
Daniel and Eric parted ways outside the station, each heading back to their own apartments.
They said goodnight quietly, without ceremony. Later, Daniel sat on the edge of his bed. The room was quiet, still. He looked at his hands, at the faint tremor he couldn't control. He tried to steady his breathing, but the unease inside him only deepened. What's happening to me? Why me? Why now? I just want my life back. I just want something normal. He pressed his palms against his eyes. Please, just stop. But the pulse beneath reality continued. Slow, steady, calling. Amanda stood on the pavement, about a quarter-mile from their house, coat pulled tight around her. She had walked here without thinking. Her body had taken her here like on autopilot. She hesitated, then dialed. Daniel answered on the second ring.
Amanda?
Daniel, come home tomorrow. We're having dinner. All of us.
Daniel blinked.
Dinner? Why?
Amanda swallowed.
Because it's time.
Her voice cracked, just barely. Daniel didn't notice. A thought pressed through Amanda's mind, sharp, unbearable. My last night with you. My last chance to hold you here. My last chance to be your mother. Daniel hesitated.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come. Is it all right if I bring Eric? He knows Emma, and he's met Andrew before.
Amanda froze, just for a heartbeat. A tiny, invisible fracture inside her. Eric. He was never meant to get this close, and she feared that his curiosity and care for Daniel would make everything harder. He was the one she needed far away from her son, the one who made everything unstable.
Yes, of course. Bring him.
She forced the words out, because she had no choice.
Good. Good.
She hung up, stood still for a long moment. Amanda knew that tomorrow had to come, yet every fiber of her being wished it wouldn't. She even wished for a miracle, and immediately frowned at the thought. Better than anyone in this world, except Ron, she knew that miracles didn't exist. At the far end of the street, a figure stood beneath a street lamp, silent, watching. Amanda didn't look at it. She didn't need to.